Before I get into this review of my first impressions of Destiny 2, I do want to let you know that I am playing this on Twitch. So head over to twitch.tv/CodeNinjaGaming. You'll find a link in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Join me for some more Destiny 2 beta throughout the rest of the early access beta and hopefully into the open beta through the weekend. Now, with that being said, let's get into my first thoughts on Destiny 2 beta on PS4.
Some of it is
3 years ago, I bought Destiny on a whim. Basically, it looked like it was going to be a fun game, and it turned out to be incredibly fun. I really liked the role playing aspects of it where you had to grind to get gear and level up your character to get new and better weapons and magic and everything else that was going on with it. That is until the Vault of Glass came out. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, Vault of Glass, that was like the very first DLC, right? And yeah, it was. And unfortunately, the thing that the Vault of Glass showed me is just how social Destiny 1, the original Destiny, really needed you to be. It required a team of 6 people to complete the Vault of Glass. And that was pretty much it. That was the end of my Destiny experience. I couldn't get past the Vault of Glass because I never had enough people to play with me in order to get anywhere. The most I ever had was like 3 people with me. Two people for a total party of 3 at that. So along comes Destiny 2 and the Destiny 2 beta. And I hear things from Bungie and the community about how they're trying to fix that problem, where people that are just randos like me out there on the internet and they want to do a raid or a strike or whatever it is, how they're going to work to actually fix that problem. And I started to get a little more interested. I started to think, you know what? Maybe I should give this a shot. I wasn't yet ready to pre-order, didn't want to spend the money on it just to get the beta access. But then a really nice guy who goes by a bearded Viking gave me a beta code because he had already pre-ordered and he won a code in some IGN raffle. So thank you so much for that, bearded Viking. I really truly do appreciate that. So I hopped in the beta today when it started. I ran a 5-hour stream. I have never streamed for that long, and it was good, you know? I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, it was incredibly difficult and painful at first. I sucked at this game, coming from Titanfall 2 and Lawbreakers more recently. The response curve on the controls, the way that this thing moves, it's incredibly slow in comparison. I died a countless number of times before I even got my first hit on a player, let alone my first kill. But after a while, after a few hours of sucking and plowing through it, I started to figure it out. I started to get used to it, and I started to actually do pretty well. And I started getting kills, and I started having fun, and I started thinking, this actually is a fun game. I'm seriously reconsidering my position on not buying it at this point.
maybe I am doing.
But I still have some concerns, I'm still concerned about the team aspect, the social aspect, the requirement for you to have, even 4 players, if that's what they're going to stick to, in order to get through some of these strikes and raids and everything else that they have going on in this game. But at the same time, I'm optimistic because this game, it turned out to be a lot of fun. When the first team that I was playing with, when I was playing with them earlier, it was difficult because it was the first time any of us had played this beta, so we really didn't know what we were doing. And the guys that I was playing with, frankly, they like to rage and scream and yell, and I just wasn't really into that. So I ended up dumping them and going on my own for a little while, and I started having a lot more fun. After a couple of hours of being on my own, I got into a game with Iniquity, Butterbar, and Tony Mo, and they pretty much carried me through for the entire hour that we played together. Had a few clutch moments, a few good kills here and there. I did contribute overall, but clearly those guys are in a league of their own, at least compared to me. So overall, yeah, this game is looking fun. I played a lot of the countdown mode and the zone capture mode. I haven't done the strike yet, but the strike interests me. I want to do the strike soon. I want to know what that strike is like. I want to see if the matchmaking is really going to get me through these strikes and potentially the rage and everything else. But I don't think the beta really demonstrates everything that Bungie has promised in terms of matchmaking and clans and being able to join up with a random party or whoever it is in order to get through some of these things. Sure, there is some matchmaking in the game right now, but I just don't get the impression that it's really fully as baked or as feature rich as what Bungie was really trying to tell us that it would be. So overall, my first impressions of the Destiny 2 beta, it's a fun game. Yeah, it's going to take you a little bit to pick up and get used to the control scheme if you haven't played Destiny in 3 years like I haven't, or if you haven't played Destiny at all. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm probably 50-50 on buying it right now. If I had to sway myself one way, I would be 49% in favor of getting it, 51% against getting it. And I only say that because Sir Baconator on Twitter had a pretty good point when he told me that if I'm enjoying the gameplay, but I'm not yet sure if I can commit the time to this game, then I would just end up being a PvE only player, and the real value in this game is going to come from the PvP experience. That was part of the problem that I had with the first Destiny, and that would probably carry over into this game, though maybe not quite as bad, because I have heard that they are limiting the weapons that you're going to be able to use in PvP. If they can do that so that we're not just going with plebes like me up against god tier people with the absolute best weapons in the game that just melt me in half of a shot, well, maybe PvP wouldn't be so bad for me this time around. I plan on playing this game more throughout the rest of this beta period. I'm, again, extremely thankful to A Bearded Viking for giving me that beta code so that I can. I'm looking forward to getting more time in this game and seeing if I can tip myself really one way or another on whether or not I'm actually going to order this game. One of the things that is actually swaying me in favor of getting it, though, turned out to be the social aspect of it, of all things. When I was in there playing with, that first team that I complained about a bit ago, but also playing with Tony and Iniquity and Butterbar, the team aspect of it really reminded me a lot of Lawbreakers, which is a game that I am absolutely madly in love with right now. So maybe this game does have the potential to really suit me as a player. And then on top of that, the experience I had on my own when I wasn't in that super competitive countdown mode, when I was just playing the zone capture, that was actually a lot of fun. That's the mode you're seeing in the background right now, playing zone capture. I could pretty much run around by myself as just a single player without really communicating with my team, and we did pretty well. Now, we didn't really win most of the time, but in this game, we got close. We only lost by 1 point. There were other games where we actually did win. I felt like I was contributing by running around point to point because, frankly, I know how to capture points, something that I'm good at. These objective type games that are in various first-person shooters these days. That's one thing that I actually am good at. So it's a really tough choice. There's as the social aspect that I'm actually kind of enjoying, but it's a requirement as well. There's the grinding, which again I'm enjoying, but can I contribute the amount of time that I would really need? There's the single player, just on my own with a random team, and if Bungie can really make that work well for all of the strikes and the raids and everything else, it's just I don't know yet. I really don't know yet. What do you think, though? Is this something that you're looking forward to? Are you like super hyped about it, waiting for that grind, really looking forward to digging in and seeing everything that is new and different and how this game is changing and progressing compared to Destiny 1? Or are you on the fence like I am and just kind of wondering, waiting, is it really going to be worth it? Or are you a diehard Destiny hater? Let me know your opinions below. I'm still trying to find that last little bit of information to sway me one way or the other. Thanks for watching, and happy gaming.